Pennsylvania State Horse Racing Commission meeting. It's 1 o'clock. Let's go ahead and begin. Before we do so, just to note that we have properly advertised Sunshine this meeting today, and to note that the Commission conducted an executive session to engage in quasi-judicial deliberation to be adjudicated at the public meeting and engaged in attorney-client privilege communication earlier today. So with that, Tom, if you don't mind, please just do a quick roll call.
Sure.
And then we'll pick up the meeting.
Commissioner Brennheiser.
Present.
Commissioner DeBunda. Commissioner DeBunda. Commissioner Egloff. Commissioner Ellis.
Here.
Commissioner Jones. Here. Commissioner Lark. Commissioner Rogers.
Here.
Commissioner Ruddy. She's not here. Commissioner Sweeney.
Here.
Commissioner Egloff. Commissioner DeBunda.
Okay, thank you, Tom. We do have a quorum, but we had earlier both Commissioner DeBunda and Commissioner Egloff, so we'll anticipate them joining us here today. And again, as noted earlier, if you would please, if you're online, mute your phone. Getting a lot of feedback on this end. We prefer not to do that in block, but if we have to, I certainly will. If you could just mute yourself, please, and again, *6 if you want to speak, brings you back in. Okay, again, we're still getting feedback. Some are eating lunch. Just would appreciate just mute. I'll try to make eye contact with the podium if it's obnoxious. Okay. And we'll try to just, otherwise, I mean, we've all been there. It's just very difficult to hear when presenters are doing what we ask them to do. So with that, we do have a quorum as noted. We have minutes from 2 previous public meetings, so we'll do them one at a time. Approval, please, on the November 30th, 2021 minutes.
So moved. So moved. Commissioner Lark.
Commissioner Ellis on the motion, Commissioner Lark on the second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes from November the 30th, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Do we have a motion for December 14th?
So moved.
Commissioner Ellis.
Second, Rogers.
Commissioner Rogers on the second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the December 14th minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, the same sign. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you. To the presentations, Tracy Otwell, please, on the December financial report.
Good afternoon, Secretary and Commissioners. Starting out with the racing fund, the beginning cash balance for the month ended December 31st was $7,751,000. Revenue was $1,733,000. Expenditures were $1,291,000, bringing the ending cash balance to $8,193,000. Moving on to the Racing Commission revenue and expenditure report for the month ended. Revenue for the month of December was $758,000. Expenditures included personnel of $375,000, operating of $36,000, bringing the total expenditures for the month to $412,000. Moving on to racehorse testing. Revenue for the month of December was $975,000. Expenditures including personnel were $279,000. Operating is $577,000, bringing the total expenditures for the month to $856,000. For promotion, again, that was the annual transfer back at the beginning of the year, so there's no revenue for this month. And there is an advertising expenditure of $15,000, which is the total expenditure for the month. Moving on to the comparative financial statements for year-to-date December 2021 to December 2020 for both the commission and testing. Revenue is down 11%. In expenditures, personnel is down 10%. The remaining operating is up 53%. Again, that is being driven by UPenn and the contracted services, which is the maintenance agreements. So there's a payment in this month, in December, that I think you'll probably see in January of next year, in 2020. Overall, then the total expenditures are up 10%. Any questions in regards to those? The remaining financial statements then particularly restricted accounts.
Okay, Tracy, thank you. Questions for Tracy on the December financial reports? Questions, any comments? Anybody online? Commissioners? Okay. Okay, Tracy, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Tom, I'll turn to you just on the marketing presentations.
As a standard practice for the commission during the year, we bring in the organizations to receive marketing grants, and they make a presentation to the commission, kind of what they've done and where they're heading. The first one up is the PTHA. Bruce, I believe, is on the phone, and he's represented here by the Baldinis.
Yes,
is that
correct. Yes.
So when you come up,
Yes, I'm here. Do you guys hear me? Yes, it was Bruce Castelli here.
Yes.
Yes, Bruce, we hear you.
Yeah, ready? Commissioners, it's great to speak with all of you today. I'm Bruce Castelli, B-R-U-C-E, Castelli, C-A-S-E-L-L-A, along with Baldini Communications, that's Baldini, B-A-L-D-I-N-I. Baldini Communications are marketing partners for the PTHA. Mike Baldini and Brandon Roast will be addressing you for our marketing details this past year in just a few minutes. I want to begin with some very good news about horse racing in parks. In 2021, our average daily handle was $2.64 million. Now, if we go back into pre-pandemic numbers, in 2019, we were averaging $1.54 million per day. That means the parks racing handle was up 71% this past year. In my opinion, no doubt the racing public loves our products. Pennsylvania Derby Day continues to be a big event. This past September, we had the best racing card in our history, and we generated a record $13.2 million handle. And for the first time in many years, every Philadelphia news station came out to cover our event pre-Derby Day, and many stations used the PA Derby Day on their local news broadcast. Although we don't have an exact attendance, it would be safe to say that we were at our capacity for Pennsylvania Derby Day this past September. With all the historic numbers in the past year, Parks Management and the PTHA feel that big days mean big handles. The track is going to schedule 6 Saturdays instead of Wednesdays in 2022. Park will run live on Saturday of the Kentucky Derby, Preakness, Belmont Stakes, Father's Day, July 4th weekend, and the Pennsylvania Derby once again, and these days will be heavily marketed to attract a big crowd. After a year off because of COVID, we brought back the Pennsylvania Derby show for a live 2-hour special that aired on PHHA 17. We brought in longtime sportscaster Neil Hartman, along with Vince Girardi, who hosted this special. And we also brought in 2 well-known national racing reporters, Peyton Bradar, PBG, and Matthew Wolfendale from Fox Sports. We continue to track the top horses from around the country, not just on Derby Day, but every race day. We also get the top trainers in the sport, bringing their horses to Ben Salem, and that, of course, generates handle and interest in our racing product. We continue to have big responses to our Let's Go Racing program, which also airs on PHHA 17 in Philadelphia, which airs every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Our ratings are solid, with over 5,000 viewers each Saturday in the 18-plus category and over 4,000 households. The idea, of course, is to promote the sport of horse racing on TV, just like they do for other sports in Philadelphia. The marketing dollars that we are awarded each year from you, our commissioners, is no doubt vital in keeping horse racing relevant to the sports fans here in Philadelphia. And I thank each of you for supporting our marketing efforts. One final bit of news is the PTHA is in discussions trying to set up a college scholarship day sometime in the spring. We plan on inviting students from Delaware Valley College to the racetrack for a day of racing with a luncheon and speakers addressing the many aspects of thoroughbred racing. We will present a $500 scholarship after each selected race, and one lucky winner in each to be awarded for their education. So we're looking forward to that. Now I'd like to continue with our presentation and our marketing partners, Mike Baldini and Brandon Rose from Baldini Communications, who will further detail our marketing approach. Mike, you there?
Thank you very much, Bruce. Thank you, everyone, for having us here. Good afternoon. I'm Mike Baldini. I'm the president of Baldini Communications. Brandon Ross is to my left. He's a member of my team. And first, I'm sure most of you know and have met our new executive director at the PTHA. That's Mr. Jeff Maddy, who's at the end of the table, no stranger to horse racing. And we're very excited to be working with Jeff. We've already had a number of meetings with him and his team to further our mission. We began working with the PTHA at Parks in 2017. Bruce has stated some of the numbers, but essentially our goal has always been to continue to take the story about racing, continue to take the stories of the horsemen, and try and attract new fans, which is never easy, no matter what is happening. And with that, we've continued to tweak our plan. What's interesting is we're all dealing with the pandemic, and I think it's no secret that many companies, and we sit here today, organizations have been pushed, sort of to the tipping point with technology, where we've had to become quick adapters. Hence, everyone on Zoom here, we're now, as companies and organizations, doing things in a way that's virtual. And on the upside, in a lot of instances, it's helping to digitize many businesses. For our approach to fans and future fans, we're finding, and we all know this as individuals when we're not in these meetings, is that we've adapted a lot quicker. We've adapted quicker to ways to do things that are digitally based. And with what we're doing here is we're generating a lot more digital content that our fans and our future fans can devour. It's no secret there's a lot of great stories at the racetrack and on the backstretch, and we have really worked hard to not only generate digital content in the form of video, both on the TV show and on our social media channels, but also photographs and stories that really tell the story of horse racing in the state of Pennsylvania. Not only the sport, but also the people that are behind it. The agriculture and the jobs and the various things that horse racing in Pennsylvania represents. So to Bruce's point, we also work hard to have affinity groups involved, the military, healthcare healthcare workers, the college promotion that we're working on. So we really try and take it as an entertainment form and share that. And again, we've been doing a lot more of that with our digital content because people are devouring more digital content in the wake of what's happening. So I'll just go over briefly. We do a lot of legacy media. For the 6 big events each year, we do television, we do radio, we do outdoor, and that's when we're focused on those. To Bruce's point, we're going to have 6 live dates, and we found the best way to move forward is to identify those big dates and put as much as we can towards those dates. But on a day-to-day basis, aside from reporting what's happening race-wise, we're also reporting on the stories of folks that are at the track. We have a number of things that are in here that show our growth on social media, both on our website. We created a fan-centric website called Let's Go Racing Parks. That was in 2017. That's a big part of what we do, as well as our social media channels. Our weekly television show, which Bruce had alluded to, is a great way for our horsemen to hear their stories told, but also for fans and potential fans to see what happens at the racetrack in a snapshot type of way. It airs every Saturday morning. And again, Dick Girardi, who's a longtime award-winning Philadelphia media personality in the Delaware Valley, is connected to that, as well as Danny Gibson, who's been working at the track for a number of years. So again, our goal is to share the message and the information, to plant the flag about horse racing in the state of Pennsylvania, horse racing at Parks Racing, and tell those stories. So I'm going to let Brandon speak briefly. We're just going to go through very briefly a snapshot on what's happening on those social media channels and also on the website as it relates to us trying to engage with those fans and potential fans.
Yes. So for us, to say the last year has been one of the tallest and fastest, scariest roller coasters would be an understatement. Obviously, we continue to come out of the COVID time with Parks Racing turning the corner and making significant growth for our marketing campaigns. Looking at 2021, new users to our website is up 28%. Our referral traffic to the website is up 528%, of which 82% of that is organic traffic growth. And desktop users are up 47%, which is just over 10,000 sessions this year. Going into a little bit further on our website traffic for the year 2021 and our efforts, we had over 17,000 website sessions to the site, so Let's Go Racing Parks, from over 12,000 users. The average time on site is a little over a minute, and the average person visits about 1.5 pages when they visit our site.
Brandon, could you cite the source of your metrics? This way everyone here understands where we gather this information.
Absolutely. So we use Google Analytics on the website, and then we have a third party through Sprout Social that gives us a lot of our social media analytics. Looking at our top 90 pages and referral traffic, our top page this year was our home page, followed by the Dick Girardi page, who gives us a weekly post about a recent event or a recent interview that he's had. Our top referral source on traffic to the website has been Google. So through our SEO efforts, we've been able to drive over 7,600 sessions from Google to the website. And then it's followed by about 4,700 sessions this year from direct traffic. What I mean by that direct traffic is that they're actually coming directly to letsgoracingparks.com. So we've really built that brand up over the last 4 years, as Mike said, and people are now recognizing that as a leading source of information to go to directly versus finding us through Google and Facebook. Speaking on social media and the correlation, over 3,000 sessions this year to our website from information came directly from our social media channels, with 40% of those sessions, which is about 1,200, coming between January and March. So during that first quarter, we had about 1,200 sessions. 40% of them come during that first quarter. 1,900 of our sessions, 3,000 sessions, were from Facebook. 500 were from Twitter. And about 57 were from Instagram, which is a big feat, being that Instagram is more multimedia with videos and photos versus links over to the site. Just following up on that quickly, social media followers grew by 18.5% over the course of last year. The majority of those growth followers did come in second and third quarter through our Instagram account. Additional social media has been back on the rise since March, again followed by those Instagram. So a lot more photos and videos that are coming out of the track that we're able to now post on our channels and has been a continuous growth over the last couple of years.
And we're very fortunate, I think, at the 6 tracks in the state that we have a very passionate group. So what we try to do is collaborate. We try and gather stories on the backstretch. We try and keep our ear to the ground and find out what are those stories. Is there something that we're missing? Is there a story we need to tell? I mean, we all love a human interest story. We all love a great story. And a lot of these stories bubble up from that. They're not necessarily about this horse or that horse that won by this many lengths. And, you know, we certainly see it on the national level. When you see the national broadcast, a lot of that human interest, the ownership groups, how they got together, the horse that was down on its luck that now is running in a big race. We try and mirror a lot of that, but we're, like I said, we're very lucky because we have a passionate group of horsemen and people that are surrounding the game at parks, and we're able to gather those stories, both in photos, in videos. Some of it ends up on the TV show, but we have a daily connection with our constituency through photos and videos, and then we're showing some of those races during the Saturday show, but we also host a show that airs TV on Saturday on YouTube, so we get some engagement that way. So very important, a daily communication with fans and potential fans, but the legacy media we push towards the 6 events. So the billboards will focus on the PA Derby, the Triple Crown, Father's Day, and then also the outreach to the affinity groups so that we can bring those affinity groups in on those days where we'll have a great showing. And, you know, we're racing Monday through Wednesday right now, but as Bruce said, we're moving towards these 6 events where we will have Saturday racing again. So it's very much a collaboration, and we look forward to working with Jeff, who's new in the position, but not new to the sport and extremely passionate. That we want some new ideas. We want some fresher ideas that we can continue to incorporate. So contained herein are a number of different metrics. Again, we cited the source of where those metrics are from. But we really have an integrated plan with a lot of touch points. TV, we have local radio personalities in the Philadelphia market. Something that we did this year for the first time is with the Pennsylvania Derby is we created our own statewide network. So we emanated the broadcast from Philadelphia at a Philadelphia station, but we also aired the race in Pittsburgh, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, the Harrisburg, Lebanon, Lancaster market, and the Altoona market. And that was a network through the state that we put together, and the feedback was very good with that. So multiple touch points, social media, TV, radio, outdoor, and then also just other ways to engage, trying to create ways to get people out to the track. Because more often than not, and I'm sure it's not unique to our track, is once people are out there and they see the experience, they often are surprised and didn't know. And that's something that we're always trying to do, educate and tell the stories of the racetrack. So we thank you for your time. Again, there is a lot of analytics and metrics in here. We're open now for any questions you may have, but thank you for your time and for hearing our presentation.
Very good, thank you. Questions, comments? I was going to ask you about the demographics, but I found one of the charts here that talks about your 35 to 44-year-olds sort of category as the #1
For our region.
for the region.
Yep. So 35 to 44-year-olds are our #1 most reached demographic.
We also have a marketing gift. We're fortunate to have been the home of Smarty Jones, and anytime we mention or show a photo or post a video of Smarty Jones, we get a great reaction. Because in the town of Philadelphia, where we're often beleaguered for our sports teams, Smarty is a champion, one of the greatest champions of all time in Philadelphia and in the state of Pennsylvania. So we try and, you know, for lack of a better word, trot him out in marketing pieces as much as we can, because people really love that. You know, we did a Smarty Jones Day a few years ago, pre-pandemic, and we were able to get him out of the track thanks to Bruce Casella and Mike Bellezzi and the Chapman family. And it was an incredible day for the track, and we have that ongoing, you know, gift of marketing with Smart Joes.
Very good, thank you. Any final?
Jeff, you want to make some remarks?
Yeah, Jeff, please.
Chairman Writing, Commissioners, I just want to say it's an honor to be here. I look forward to filling in for Mr. Bellezzi. I'd be remiss not to remark how much he did for Pennsylvania racing. especially the horseman parks. I'll do my best to continue his legacy. I look forward to getting to know each and every one of you. Like I said, this position was a dream come true for me, and I look forward to hit the ground running full speed and to work with each and every one of you. So thank you for your time, and I really look forward to getting to know each and every one of you.
And Jeff, congratulations and thank you. Look forward to working with you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good day.
The second marketing presentation will be for the PHHA. We have Mike and Rachel.
Good afternoon, Chairman, Commissioners. I just want to start off by saying that we had a very good year at both our tracks. Pocono did their first $1 million handle day since 2018 at the Breeders' Crown. Harris, Philadelphia did $4 million handle days this year. They had not done $1 million handle day since 2014, so to get 4 of them was quite an accomplishment. And in fact, at Harris, Philadelphia, we had our best overall total handle in the history of the racetrack. We've been there since 2006, so it was a very, very good year, especially at Harris. And for the marketing presentation, I want to turn it over to Rachel Wilshire.
Good afternoon,
Could I
everybody.
get you guys to spell your name for the recorder?
Absolutely. My name is Michael Harant, Harant.
Rachel Olszewski, RACHEL, OLSZEWSKI. Good afternoon, everybody. As I said, I did email my presentation over to Tony. We'll be very brief. I'm just going to touch on the biggest portions that we use the state grant money for. The biggest one being the Trackmaster free PPs. This was our first year doing free PPs for every single racing car for both tracks. And it was outstanding. It truly, truly was. We're very excited. We've already signed our contract for 2022. We're very excited about it. I've listed all the numbers here. I won't get into detail about that with you, but I will tell you both tracks had 11 weeks apiece, over 1,000 downloads. Now, the downloads are on our website, and they are aggregate, as in weeks or weekends. We cannot break them out individually without making it a completely strange experience for the user. It would send them all over the place. We wanted to make it a user-friendly website so that our fans, they know they go to one place for Mohegan, they go to one place for Chester. It made it that much easier for them. So, our total investment in this was 52 cents per download. My goal for 2022 is to be under the 50-cent mark. Personal goal, I would like to be closer to 45 cents. So we are really going to be pushing the free PPs this year. It really, really made a difference for us at both tracks. Moving on to PA Harness Week, we're very lucky. Bruce Casella is our producer for PA Harness Week. And this year we got an amazing team of co-hosts with Jessica Otten and Heather Vitale. Heather's been with us a while, but Jess was brand new to us this year, and it has really, really made a difference in our fan interaction and in our viewership. We've had the highest rating in 4 years, which is an aspirational goal for us in 2022 that will go even higher. We do air Saturday and Sunday mornings on Comcast Sports Philadelphia. We do get additional ones when Philadelphia Phillies games are in rain delay, which is kind of nice for us to pull in a different kind of fan who's already watching for baseball, who may not be a horse racing fan, but they get a little extra bonus when that happens. Bruce and I did speak this weekend at the fair banquet. We will be covering at least one fair this year on PA Harness Week. Schedule permitting, we're hoping to cover multiple fairs on PA Harness Week, but it really will depend on the fair schedule as well as the schedule of our co-hosts and camera availability. But we are very excited about that. You'll see here there's 2 pictures of 2 gentlemen with yellow sunglasses on. We did a fan interaction social media giveaway this year where we posted different contests. There's a picture of Bruce and his girls. That was for Father's Day. We were asking our fans to interact with us in different ways, and we would send them PA Harness Week sunglasses every week as a result. This year we're going to be doing fanny packs because they have been told they made a comeback from the 80s. So we are going to be doing that as our giveaway this year to really make sure we get some
fantastic fan interaction on social media because they, as you can see, they love it. They loved doing it with us, despite the lack of a smile on their faces. Harrah's Stakes Day in May of this year, the handle is listed up top there. We had a 102% increase in handle from 2019, which was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, when Mike sent me the numbers, I double checked them multiple times. But we were very excited about it. Our biggest piece of marketing for the Stakes Day was through Philadelphia Magazine. They did a feature story on us that they emailed, blasted out, that they really pushed digitally on their website. We are going to be doing another feature story this year with Philly Magazine. This year it's going to focus on PA Harness Week and Bruce, Heather, and Jess. And both tracks, not just Chester. So we are going to kind of expand it a little bit. But we also did stuff with DRF and Aquabase, which was fantastic. There's some pictures here for you guys of different advertisements we had digitally and print. For Sun Stakes in August of this year at Pocono, this handle number does include ATG Sweden numbers. We had a 24% increase over 2019, which was also a great, I mean, not 102, but we were very excited about it. So I've listed the different areas that we did advertising. A lot of these are local. Lamar, Times Shamrock, those are local billboard companies. The Times Leader Citizens Voice local newspaper. But again, we did the DRF, the Aquabase, we stayed within the industry. And Chris Tully was very gracious and worked with us on social media. He was doing live coverage on our PA Harness Week social media to really reach the fans, which was absolutely outstanding. So that's kind of, I wanted to keep it brief. I wanted to just touch on the big ones for you guys. If there's any questions, please let me know.
Thank you, Rachel, and Mike, thank you. Questions? Comments? So a similar question to the last, just on the demographics, right? I'm just interested in, I'd like to bring this up, just going back to the very first sort of conversation we had about marketing. And who is that, you know, who is that client, right? Who is the person we're trying to attract, have or attract in? What is your sense of who is that for you?
It's used mostly male for both of our tracks. I think it's used mostly male, probably the entire industry, but it's used male for us. There is a soft demographic of 18 to 30 for us, but we tend to see more 30 plus, 30 to 45. That's when people start to have a little bit more disposable income that they're able to spend at the tracks, as opposed to right out of college when you don't really have that kind of money to spend with us. So that's when we really start to see our fan base kick in at 30 plus.
And I think we also found, especially with the free PTs from Trackmaster, that it was not just a local thing. I mean, I got many calls when we started in Wisconsin, California, Oregon, people calling saying, this is great, you know, I love the bet harness, but I don't traditionally bet your track, came across your PPs, now I'm looking at your product. It was a nice touch because, you know, we think local so much, but in the world now with simulcasting and with the online wagering, it really is a national and even international with Canada. And we brought in, for Sun Stakes, we were able to get in Sweden, and it was a hit over there. We did over $100,000 in Swedish kroners, I believe, bet, which was great. It was a fantastic thing. So
it was the same thing with the PA Harness Week giveaways. We had people in Illinois, we had in California, I was shipping to Canada. We had people from all over the place. So we really saw this year that our fan base is not just 30 miles from the racetrack.
And you do some of this through sort of the storytelling, as we heard in the PHHA.
Absolutely, absolutely. Storytelling is the best way to market our product. It really is. Even for people who are not familiar with our product, that's the way to pull them in through the various stories that we tell about the families and the horses and the breeders and the trainers. Just bring them in that way.
Thank you. Other questions or comments?
I just had one, Mike and Rachel. Are the free pass performances available every race day?
Yes.
Not just those stadiums?
Yes.
Yeah.
Every race day.
And I was up there for Sun Stakes, and you guys did a really good job, and the track did a really good job putting it on this year with the Queen in the afternoon. I'm assuming it'll be in the afternoon game this year?
as of now, it's
Yeah. Thanks.
thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thanks to PHHA and PTHA presentation today. Much appreciated. Thanks. Presentations, let's go to Tom on equine safety and welfare.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In the late summer, the Commission formed a working group to address the equine safety and welfare issues that are currently plaguing Pennsylvania and much of the nation. The group consisted of the Thoroughbred racetrack executives, the Thoroughbred horsemen and the horsemen's reps, the Thoroughbred commission vets, and 4 commissioners: Commissioner Ellis, Commissioner Devonda, Commissioner Jones, and Commissioner Sweeney. A couple statements first. The Commission firmly believes that to resolve this issue, a collaborative effort, it was and is imperative to work to mitigate and hopefully resolve the outstanding issues. All parties have a significant role to play in this, from the racetracks to the horsemen to the practicing vets to the Commission. Any success is dependent upon that. There were meetings were held with this group, items were addressed, information was relayed to the Commission. The Commission has decided to take a position to implement the following action plan to continue to address these issues. I think it's important to recognize that in the Commission doing this, they sought out the best practices across the nation. They consulted with other jurisdictions. Some of this came out of the working group, and some of this is trends in history. This list is a living and breathing list. There are going to be changes, obviously. It's not the end-all to be-all. It's a start, but it's an important start, okay? Some of these items will be done by regulation. Some of these items will be done by policy, and quite possibly, if the racetracks see fit, to make it a house policy or a house rule. 2 other cleanups real quick. I'm going to distribute this list by Friday, and the implementation date to move forward will be March 1st. Okay. And as I said, it's important to understand this is a starting point. It's not the end all to be all. Item 1, the tracks will conduct an independent third-party analysis of the racetrack 2 times per year. The analysis is, the first analysis for the thoroughbred tracks is to be completed within 60 days and submitted to the Commission. Item 2, increase monitoring and oversight of AM works, employing additional veterinarians to conduct oversight and examination. That will require reshuffling of some of the vets and putting more vets in play, but the Commission believes that what occurs in the morning is important to racing and moving forward. Item 3, require the practicing veterinarians to attest the horse is fit, serviceable, and in sound condition and suitable to race. Item 4, trainer must submit a pre-entry form to a racing panel for permission to race. Require the submission of the most recent 30-day medical reports for the horses. The panel should consist at a minimum of the race secretary, commission vet, steward, and horseman's rep. 5, institute a rule for lower level conditions or classes. A horse that doesn't finish in the top 4 positions in 5 consecutive races is deemed non-competitive and non-eligible to race in Pennsylvania. Item 6, requiring the practicing veterinarian to conduct an examination within 48 hours of a horse being placed on the vet's list due to lameness. This examination will assist in determining the cause and if diagnostics are warranted. The practicing vet will provide a verbal report to the commission vet. Item 7 will deal with intra-articular injections. The initial injection is permitted based on the practicing veterinarian's examination and recommendation. Any additional injections require diagnostics to support further injections. If any injection is a corticosteroid, the horse is placed on the vet's list for 30 days. Number 8, establish stricter criteria for the removal from the vet's list utilizing diagnostics, scanning, and imaging. Item 9, establish a program to install either a PET scan, MRI, or the like at the racetrack in the effort to detect bone issues, muscle issues, and so on. 10 is create a facility database, a fatality database. Two other notes with this is several months ago, the commission approached legal counsel and the staff to draft regulations regarding continuing education tied into the licensing. That process is in place. And the last issue is the commission is going to set up an integrity hotline where people can call in and report what they want. As I said, this is the starting point for the commission based on the occurrences. Mr. Secretary.
Yeah, Tom, thank you. And we'll have discussion in a moment, but just to note for the record, we do have Commissioner DeBunda and Dr. Egloff who have joined us for this meeting, so welcome to you. Thank you. So let's open it up. Discussion, please, Commissioner Ellis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just, Tom, to reiterate, we're not proposing anything that's never been tried before, that we looked around the country to find the best ideas to protect our horses in the Commonwealth, and these are the ideas that we're working on today, that they're not pie in the sky, things that can actually be done. And that we did have 2 working group meetings with all involved, all parties, and it's incumbent upon all of us, the tracks, the horsemen, the commissioners, to protect our horses in the Commonwealth.
That's correct. Commissioner Sweeney.
Thank you. I just want to follow up on that. I agree with Commissioner Ellis. Strongly supportive of all these actions and recommendations that have been made. I think they were well thought out. It's had a lot of input from a lot of people, a lot of stakeholders. And as Commissioner Ellis says, many of them are already well established and practiced in other jurisdictions. And so we're making these efforts, and I'll use a phrase that is not my own, but you know, what is good for the horse is good for racing. So they've had complete support for this.
Dr. Sweet, thank you. Other Commissioner comments?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Commissioner DeBunda, we can hear you.
Okay, I just want to reiterate what Tom said and agree with Corinne and Tom on everything they said. I want to thank everyone who participated. I think that, as Tom said, we took what we got from the meetings as well as what's happening in other jurisdictions and past practices. And I also just want to mention, Tom, because I understand that a lot of these things are what the federal legislation would end up requiring if once it gets going too. So I think we're staying in line with what needs to be done to protect our horses. So I thank you all for participating.
Commissioner, thank you. Any other comments from the Commission? Okay. Just to note, there's been a lot of time spent thinking about this issue and sort of working on this issue, and I appreciate the staff and Commission's time and the work groups that have convened to really look at a pretty comprehensive approach to addressing these issues of safety, and welfare. And as Tom knows, there will be opportunity for comment as we work our way through. Right, each one of these has a different path depending on regulations or policy or track actions, but important to note that this is the framework, these are the actions, and hopefully there will be plenty of feedback from the stakeholders. I think the appeal here is that there's a piece of this for everybody, right? And as we've said many times, this is not a single entity's action plan. It's the Commission and the industry at large. So please provide feedback when you have that opportunity. Any other comments from the Commission and or those who are present relative to the this action plan? Okay, thank you. There will be a motion on this just a bit later here under administrative actions. Okay, with that, we'll move to administrative actions. Tom?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The first motion would be to approve the simulcast calendars for February 2022 for the harness tracks, Arrows, Mohegan Sun, and the Meadows, sir.
Okay, Tom, thank you. Do you have a motion, please, to approve the simulcast calendars?
So moved.
Commissioner Brenheiser on the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
And Commissioner Ellis on the second. Discussion of this motion. Seeing none, all those in favor of approving this motion say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same sign. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you.
The next motion will be to approve the simulcast calendars for the Thoroughbred tracks for February of 2022, specifically for Parks, Penn National, and Prescott events.
Thank you, Tom. We have a motion to approve the simulcast calendars for the Thoroughbred tracks.
So moved.
Commissioner Ellis on the motion, Dr. Sweeney on the second. Discussion. Seeing or hearing none, all those in favor of approving the motion say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same sign. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you.
The next motion is the motion to approve the PA Commission Equine Safety and Welfare Actions, specifically item 6 of the presentations that were presented by the Bureau Director. I'm seeking a motion for the Commission to ratify.
Tom, thank you. And George, would you just remind us who has voted?
Sir. Yes, since this is potentially all regulations or a combination of regulation and policy, I would recommend that the two harness appointees not abstain from voting, since under the Act they're only on terms of thoroughbred. This is a thoroughbred issue, and have that delegated by the other members. So they should abstain.
Very good. Thank you. So we have a motion, please, then to approve the PA Commission Equine Safety and Welfare actions that have been presented earlier.
Thanks.
So Dr. Sweeney on motion, Commissioner Ellis on second. Discussion of this motion. Okay, hearing or seeing none, all those in favor of approving the motion say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed, the same sign. Any abstentions?
Bernard and Egloff should abstain.
Dr. Egloff abstained. Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, to the adjudications. We'll go first to Monty.
Good afternoon, Chairman and Commissioners. This matter is in regarding Michael J. Dowdell, appeal of ruling number 19141 CD, medication positive, dihydroergocristine, docket number racing CD-2020-M-1. Since Attorney George Augusto prosecuted this case, he did not participate in the deliberation or adjudication of it. This matter comes before the Pennsylvania State Horse Racing Commission, Bureau of Thoroughbred Horse Racing, on an appeal filed by Michael Dowdell. The Commission had the opportunity to review the record during the executive session, and the following order can be treated as a motion, which reads, and now this 25th day of January 2022, upon consideration of the testimony and exhibits of record, it is hereby ordered that ruling number 19141 CD, issued on December 13, 2019, is hereby affirmed, and that can be treated as a motion.
Monty, thank you. Do we have such motion?
So moved, Rogers.
Mr. Rogers on the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Brenheiser on the second. Discussion of this motion. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same sign. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thanks, Chairman. The next matter before the commission is in the appeal of number 21017PN, which is a license revocation of Douglas A. Dietrich. Docket number is Racing AN-2021-NM-04. Summary of this matter is present before this commission on appeal by Mr. Dietrich by ruling number 21017PN dated January 22nd, 2021. Board of Stewards of Penn National Racecourse revoked appellant's license as a track employee. The Board of Stewards' decision was based upon the evidence produced at its hearing that appellant, who was employed by Penn National as an assistant starter, refused to allow himself or his vehicle to be searched by commission investigators during the course of a legal search. Commission investigators were conducting a search for electronic devices, also known as batteries. The commission hearing was held on August 25th, 2021, before a duly appointed presiding officer. You have now had the opportunity to review the transcript of the hearing and all of the evidence of record, and have had the opportunity to review the proposed recommendation from the presiding officer. This matter is now ready for a decision. Accordingly, the following order is hereby submitted to the commission for its consideration, and this would be done in the form of a motion. And now, this 25th day of January 2022, ruling number 21017PN of the Board of Stewards of Penn National Racecourse, dated January 22nd, 2021, is hereby affirmed in part. The penalty imposed by ruling 21017PN, issued by the Board of Stewards upon track employee appellant Douglas A. Dietrich, is hereby modified and reduced to a 1-year suspension.
George, thank you. And that's a motion?
That's the motion.
So who would make that motion, please?
So moved.
Commissioner Ellis on the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
I think that's...
Second, Mr. Jones.
Oh, yeah, Commissioner Jones, thank you. Thank you. We have a second and motion second, discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor of approving this motion say aye.
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 Those opposed, the same sign. Any abstentions?
Another abstention.
One abstention. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. To industry reports, Tony?
Okay, Mr. Chairman, before we go to the reports, Tom had one more thing he wanted to add.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. I believe it's in the best interest of the commission and the stewards in the industry. There was a matter that transpired at the parks recently, which has begged a series of questions. The issue deals with the jockey, Michael Sanchez. I was contacted by an ADW provider, FanDuel/DVG, with concerns regarding the wagering taking place on an account in his name. Multiple races were wagered on. Some he wrote in, some he did not. The majority he did not, but there were a few at parks specifically that he placed wagers on a horse other than his own in the race. The commission conducted a full investigation with interviews, race replays, and a wagering analysis. The investigation was handed to the stewards. The stewards held a hearing. Based on the investigation, it produced no evidence of unusual wagering or betting patterns. There is no evidence of tampering or fixing with the race, and there's no evidence of a conspiracy. The stewards came to the conclusion the individual made a significant error and has a problem. Based on the evidence, the steward's position was as follows. They believe, and the commission, the stewards and the commission believe in allowing people with problems to get help with a second chance and an opportunity to get their lives back in order. It's clear that there will be no third chance, fourth chance, or so on. This is a one-time opportunity for the gentleman to get his life together. Upon the conclusion of the suspension, he will be put on a conditional license with certain mandates, but that's the position for the stewards.
Thank you, John. Tony, on the industry reports.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Jeff, since you're new, and you're here in person, this is where we go around and everybody gets a little report on the industry. So if you'd like to go first, if you have any report.
Absolutely. Chairman Redding, Commissioners, to report from the PTHA, we're working closely with Mr. Wilson, Mr. Joe Wilson, and Mr. Dave, the Racing Secretary. We're getting our state schedule in place. Going forward, the PTHA, we're going to increase some marketing opportunity with events. We have our banquet coming up next month. And like I said, it's been great to get caught up to speed on everything. I really appreciate Mr. Salabanda. He's been a person I can go to at any day, any time. And like I said, he's been great. And yeah, for the PTHA, we're moving forward. And with Mr. Alesi and Ms. Yeomans leaving on the same day, that was 50 years of experience that left our office. But I'm fully confident in our staff, along with Mr. Devanda, and we look forward to going forward. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Jeff, and welcome. You have some big shoes to fill.
Absolutely.
I know Todd has another report. He called in earlier. Sam or Mike, one of you guys want to go?
Thank you, Tony, Commissioner. Just wanted to let everybody know we had our annual USTA Bear Banquet at Bedford Springs this weekend. Went very well. Gave out some fair awards. Good time by all. Pocono Downs is going to be starting on February the 12th. We're starting early this year. Hopefully the weather holds out. Doesn't look this great this weekend, but hopefully next weekend looks a little bit better. Chester's a little bit after that, April 3rd, and PHHA, myself, Sam, would like to welcome Jeff, and anything we can do to be of assistance to you as you get settled, just let us know. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. How about Kim Hankins? Kim, are you on the call? MSOA?
Yes, I am, and I'll be very brief. I just want to congratulate and thank the track crew here at the Meadows for the outstanding job during this bad weather that we've had. This morning was another shining example of it. We had 3 inches of snow. About 7 o'clock this morning, the track was clear and ready for training. So I just wanted to publicly thank them and congratulate them on their good job.
Okay, thank you, Ken. Let's go to the racetrack. Scott Bishop from the Meadows, are you on? We have Scott. How about Mike Selinger? Oh, there you go, Scott.
I'm sorry, can you hear me, Tony?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Chair, members of the commission, thank you. Just very briefly, Kim Hankins kind of stole my thunder a little bit, but yes, the track crew here has done a great job. We have not lost any days to racing or training. We did shift our schedule one day when some snow was coming in per the suggestion of Bruce Smith, our track superintendent. So kudos to them. As everyone is, we're dealing with the winter weather, and things have been going on. In relation to our racing, we have been racing 10 races a day as part of an agreement with the MSOA, which we negotiated, and as we had some meetings this week, they graciously worked out to where starting next week we'll be racing 11, trying to get our horsemen as many opportunities to race as possible. Throughout this year, we know that it's been difficult with only 10 races in the cartage days. Looking forward to doing that. And just one last thing, as many of you in the harness industry know, our track photographer here, Chris Gooden, who is an award winner in the industry several times over, very accomplished. He's branched out into the social media platforms and has been doing some TikTok videos as well as some music videos. He and our announcer, Jeff Zinnick, created a little show called Jeff and Chris Show. And just trying to market racing a little bit and get what we do out. Just a little, I checked with him, he gave me some stats. He had 2 videos he posted on TikTok. One was of a horse in slow motion breeding and on a cold day, over 50,000 views on TikTok. And then he posted a video, a little short video on TikTok of one of our drivers coming back after a race. Just last week, it gotten over 40,000 views, as well as interest from an AccuWeather broadcaster to ask if they could use it maybe in some of their shows. So all those little things I think help. It just gets us up about, and kudos to Chris, to Jeff, and also I would be remiss, Kevin Hanley, who's works here at the Meadows and helps a lot with the editing and ideas and things. So we're really trying to internally amp up what we do on social media, and hopefully, if nothing else, it exposes people to harness. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Scott. I just had one question for you, Scott. I know last month you said you were when you started back up, you were going to adjust your drag times on post times. And I know it's only been a month, but have you noticed any result or any difference with the change in drag times?
Yeah, to be honest, I mean, our handle it is off. Our race handle is down compared to last year. And, we're looking at that to see if the drag time is affecting it. I think the industry as a whole, as you go on and look at the USA, it's down as well for the first part of the year. The economy may be playing into it. But we'll monitor that and see. But to be honest, on our end, we've been very well received. I had multiple conversations with people within the industry, people on the TV side as well, and a lot of players, and they seem to like the idea. Are they betting an extra 100,000 a day? No, they're not. But so far it seems to be working okay from a point of view. But there again, the handle's not there. It's actually down, but the industry as a whole is kind of down right now as well. So we will continue watching, monitor and tweak this as we see.
Scott, this is Commissioner Rogers. Do you think the fact that you don't show live racing on your website anymore is affecting that?
I really don't, sir, because when we made the change, I've had 2 inquiries that have come across me, myself, one from an individual in Canada, another one from an individual here locally, and who were owners who just wanted to know how they could access the coverage. We directed them to Roberts, and they seemed very happy and very well received. I would say there's an element that cannot watch, but if you're a player and you're playing from home, any of your AEW online account usually will be able to access that video as well there. So I don't believe so, sir, but to say definitively yes or no, I can't, but I don't believe so.
Thank you.
Thanks, Scott. How about Mike Zollinger from Pocono? Mike, are you on? Yeah, Mike. Let's move on to Barry Brown from Harris. Barry, are you on the call? How about Joe Wilson from Parks?
Yeah, thanks, Tony. Joe Wilson, J-O-E-W-I-L-S-O-N. As people are talking, winter is officially upon us. We did lose a day last Tuesday, and we lost yesterday. And not for the tireless effort of our track crew, it does a tremendous job working that track 24 hours a day. And hopefully most of it's past us, but we don't know what to come. So The other thing is, just we're officially opening our Thoroughbred Racing Sportsbook. The two test dates are February 7th and 8th, with the official opening of that on February 9th. That's all I can tell you.
Okay, thanks, Joe. I want to go back to Barry Brown. Barry, you might be muted. If you push *6, you should be unmuted. Maybe you and Mike are having that problem. If you're on the phone.
Yeah.
There you go. There you, Barry?
Yes. Do you hear me?
Yep, we got you.
Okay, sorry about that. That was the issue. Okay, Barry Brown, BARRY, just to add to what was mentioned earlier in the PHHA presentation, we completed our 2021 season since we last had our meeting last month. And yeah, it ended up being a fantastic year for us. The best season in the history of the 16 years that we've been here in terms of total handle. $4 million days was a highlight of the year, and we're looking forward to getting going on April 3rd for the 2022 season. Thank you.
Okay, congratulations, Barry. That was a good year. How about Mike? Did you want to try?
Somebody hear you there?
Yeah, we got you, Mike.
All right. How's everyone today? As Mike Moran mentioned, our first day of racing is February 12th, a quick 18 days away, so we're making preparations, and I'm looking forward to getting the team back to work and the horsemen back in the paddock, and having another successful year here at Pocono Downs. That's all I have, so more to come in the future months.
And we'll hope for a mild February for you, Mike. How about Chris McElroy? Whoops, sorry, Mike, got it.
That's right, but Florida's a bit tough here right now, so.
Well, good luck. From Penn National, I think we have Chris McElroy on the phone.
Yes, sir. Chris McElroy, MC, capital ERLEAN. We're facing the same wintertime challenges as the other tracks currently racing, but outside of that, nothing else to report from Penn National.
Okay, thanks, Chris. How about Matt Ennis from Presque Isle?
Yes, I'm here, Tony. Here at Presque Isle, we're up the lake in a cold January and looking forward to about 3 months out to beginning our season. Our speed of service has been sent out for evaluation with the manufacturer, looking for the potential additives necessary for our upcoming meet. Stressing again the safety of our track last 60-day meet where we had no breakdowns and looking for continuing that streak. So we at Presque Isle are looking forward to getting back to our 100-day program. Previous years have been 60 and 52, so we're looking to get regulated and horsemen to get back to Erie and make the city stay in Erie a lot easier for them with the 100-day product that will help. I will be submitting to the commission for the February meeting approval for our formalized season in 2022, again, 100 days. Looking to the backside of April with a potential first week date of May 16th, Monday. Starting out slow and then easing into four races per week and then into a 5 proper 100 days. So again, about 2.5, 3 months out from opening our backside, getting rid of the snow and welcoming the horsemen back. So getting excited. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Matt. How about Mike or Jim Simpson? We have you guys? Looks like you're up, Brian.
Good afternoon, Chairman Ray, Commissioners. If you look to the handout,
We've got to identify yourself for the record.
Brian Sanfratello, SANFRATELLO. If you look at the handout, the first item in there is the transfer of revenue to the breeding fund. Revenue coming in this year was almost 15.4 million, plus the 3.1 million of the 25% deposits at the end of fiscal year for a total of 18.5. So it was a good year over 2020. I passed out to you all a copy of the 2022 Stallion Directory and Boarding Farm Directory. As you know, we constantly make these every year, and they go out in various ways. We mail them to our breeders. We have a glue tip that's on the front of every Blood Horse magazine in the Mid-Atlantic area, Florida, Kentucky, and Canada, and that went out in December. We have this online at our website. We have it available through the TDN Daily and the Polar Report Daily. And we drop some off at the racetracks. So we found that this did very well. People were waiting for them, and so you have one there. If anyone would like to breed to any of the PA sires, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to set you up with a mare for free. Not the breed, just a mare. Okay, and then a copy of our newsletter that goes out in the Mid-Atlantic Thoroughbred. This month, we look at one of the stallions in there with Julia, who's done very good. A couple of our horses that were running were bred by stakes winners, bred by Julia. So again, it's a good story to get a chance to take a look at it. On the third page of that was a copy of that glue tip that went out on all the Blood Horse magazines. There's a QR code there, so anyone who got that magazine, all they had to do was use that QR code and they'll be able to view the directory. Any questions? Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. Mr. Chairman, we have one request from Dr. Langlois for public comment. Dr. Langlois?
My name is Brian, B-R-Y-A-N, Langlois, L-A-N-G, L-O-I-S. Thank you to the Commission for allowing me to make a comment again at this meeting. I just wanted to say a couple of things. First, I think that the points that are being proposed and have been approved by the task force are really amazing and an amazing start. I think it's going to go a long way towards improving the health and welfare for the horses in PA, but also the public's perception and the integrity of the sport in PA. As the rules are kind of finalized and put out, the one thing I think that we as fans and others would request is that the penalties are severe if these rules are violated. That seems to be one of the biggest drawbacks to regulations and rules that are throughout the country in racing, is that penalties are basically just slaps on the wrist, which really doesn't deter people from doing things. So if the penalties could be severe enough to really act as a deterrent, that would be an extra wonderful thing. The next thing would be asking the Commission to kind of finalize the requirements for and start actively advertising for an equine medical director position. This has been very successful in other racing jurisdictions, in having somebody that can kind of oversee all of the medical and welfare care of the horses that are running. And then the final request would be, since nobody really kind of knows what's going on with PHHA or when or if it will ever be implemented, at least on the current time schedule, if we could go back to getting, if they're being done, the monthly out of competition testing reports at each meeting. That's it. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Langlois. That's it, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, Tony. Okay, any final comments from commission members, staff? If not, just a couple of endpoints. A note of thanks to our technical team, to Nicole and Jenna. Thank you for navigating the last couple of hours. Thank you for that. To all who have been online and stuck with us. Thank you, Mr. L. To all who are present here and stakeholders. Thanks for being part of today's meeting. And a note, again, as presented earlier, just a note of appreciation to Tom and Tony and the Burke groups and the commission for exceptional work to get safety and welfare actions pulled together and sort of in motion. So thank you. It does, it's not going to well noted, really important for public perception and integrity of the sport. So thank you much. With that, please note our next meeting will be February the 22nd. And again, that would be both in person and and hybrid as well. Okay, good. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Commissioner Rogers, thank you. And Dr. Sweeney, thank you for the second. And all those in favor say yes.
Aye.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Great. Thanks, everybody. Stay safe. See you.